Hey, it's Noctis. Subscribe to Vincent Valentine EX Turk channel.
What's up, guys? King and Knife, Vincent Valentine EX Turk with another YouTube video. And this YouTube video is actually going to be pretty good, but about the HD collection. Now they keep releasing stuff like they did with Final Fantasy X and X-2. They re-released it on the PS3 and PS4, which I'm gonna be honest, it gets redundant at times to release it. Don't get me wrong, I have both copies. Being the fan boy I am. By the way, I'm watching Castlevania on Netflix, so that's why you hear that in the background. These are pretty good episodes and stuff like that, but I'm not going to try to stay off topic because I get hollered by the fan base. When I do that, I'm going to try to stay on topic, so let's talk about why I think that the Lightning Trilogy would be the perfect HD collections for the PS4. Now, why I think the HD collections for the Lightning Saga, such as Final Fantasy XIII, would be perfect for the PS4 is because how much play value they got. They got a whole bunch of play value, a good story, a good basis. I don't care what people say. And not only that, I mean, now I don't think it's going to be really possible for Lightning's Return to be on there because I think it'd follow the bandwagon that the Batman Arkham collection did, where it only put 2 of the best games. It didn't put Origins because people hate Origins. Well, you get the point, though. They're probably going to do that with Lightning Saga, so it's probably going to only be Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. And how big, and I know it's Blu-ray, but how big Final Fantasy 13 was and how long and extensive it was, I don't think for one disc it's going to be really possible to put Lightning's Return. But anyways, besides, we just addressed the elephant in the room. Now we just addressed that elephant in the room, so that's not going to be a possible choice. So let's get back to why I think Final Fantasy 13 would be a perfect HD collection for the PS4. First of all, I think the only time HD collections should be made, and this is my personal opinion, is if you got a good PS3 game that was really good back in the day of PS3. And since people probably already bought PS4s and not PS3s, this will give a chance to people whose new gen systems are PS4s or Xbox Ones, because to be able to play Final Fantasy 13 because it was a PS3 classic that was good, as well as Xbox 360 classic. So you get to have that nostalgia. Plus, it plays like a new game. All they had to do was update the graphics. Imagine a PS4 Pro version of Final Fantasy 13 Saga. The game already runs 1080p as it is. By its regular on the PS3 and Xbox 360, it runs pretty high quality as it is for being a game in the PS3 and Xbox 360 era. So it already runs pretty smoothly as it is. Sure, you'd go back to the classic RPG elements, but I think it's playable. I think Lightning's Saga is very much playable on the fact that and it was a PS3 classic. You can never go wrong with a PS3 classic. Square Enix will be rolling in money with it. Don't get me wrong. I like Final Fantasy XII, and I liked Final Fantasy X for what it is. But I think that the Final Fantasy X remasters kind of get redundant. I love Final Fantasy X for what it is. I think it'd be something new if they put Final Fantasy 13 on the trilogy collection for Lightning's Return. Plus, this would also have you would have the complete Fabula Crystallis Novia on PS4 or Xbox One because I don't care what you say, Final Fantasy 15 is still part of Fabula Crystallis Novia. You cannot argue with me. I'm just gonna say what I believe, and if you don't like it, that's just too bad. I cook different kind of food, and if you don't like the food I cook, you can leave. If you don't like the food I have to cook, if you don't like soul food, because that's why I mostly cook, then you can get out of my kitchen. There's a Taco Bell close to where I live anyways. But nonetheless, we got that out of the way. But still, Fabula Crystallis Novia, you'd have Type 0 and Final Fantasy 15. You'd have both properties, dude. you'd have both properties on there. You know, you would have a lot of properties on this as well. Imagine what you could do with that. And then imagine what streaming quality would be. And then, like I said, PS4 Pro for Final Fantasy 13. Plus, they could add new features. Like, Final Fantasy has never actually had any Share Factory themes or avatar pictures that aren't 14 or Dissidia. You could probably, for this collection, you could probably unlock every single avatar picture for each of them, from Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 13-2, as well as a Share Factory theme. You know, for Final Fantasy YouTubers who want to make Final Fantasy videos on the PlayStation Share Factory, it'd be pretty cool to actually have a Share Factory theme for once for Final Fantasy. So, I think it'd be pretty cool to actually have that. You'd have extras, and if you buy the deluxe edition, you get the soundtrack. Who knows? The possibility is endless. Plus, it's a PS3 classic. You know, I think the only HD collection that should exist ever, in my opinion, are PS3 classics. You know? And it's a good PS3 classic. Despite what the fan base thinks, I still think Final Fantasy 13 is a wonderful addition to the Final Fantasy lore, the Final Fantasy, you know, verse, period. The fact that Crystallis Novias was one of my other favorite sagas. I liked it better than what they did with 15, but that's just another point. But I'm just saying, you know, you already got Final Fantasy 15. You got Final Fantasy Type 0. You got Final Fantasy 10 HD Collection. You got Final Fantasy 12 HD Collection coming out. You have the Final Fantasy 7 PC version. I don't see why it can't be possible for an HD collection for the Lightning Trilogy. In fact, the first two parts of the game did well, despite what Final Fantasy fans said about it. It did pretty well. People bought into it. Even the people that claim to hate Final Fantasy 13 has bought into Final Fantasy 13, you know? I don't see why you can't do it. That's what I'm saying. I don't see why it's not possible, you know? So, may the crystal be with you. And like and subscribe. Comment if you think they should or should not put this on the make a PS4 remaster of Final Fantasy 13.